The story of the Mahabharata is one of two major epics of ancient India. It is said to have originated in 400 BCE and has been retold millions of times since, going through numerous iterations and transformations as it traveled throughout India and into Eastern Asia. The Mahabharata is considered a cornerstone of Hindu and Indian culture. Welcome to Not Your Mother's Mahabharata.
This is not your mother's Mahabharata. Beware. It's fucking epic. Hosted by SP Jairaj.
Welcome everyone to Not Your Mother's Mahabharata. Happy to have you here. With me, as always, is my wife, Azure Anderson.
Hello, everybody!
How was your day today?
My day was pretty good. Yeah, lots of traffic. Pretty cool thunderstorm that I apparently missed most of. But otherwise, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
For a Thursday.
It was kind of fun.
Thursday, right? Thursday?
Today's Thursday.
Yeah, not bad for a Thursday.
Yeah.
Hey!
I was reading stories and as dramatic things happened, there was thunderstorm stuff. So it's almost like earlier episodes when actual things happened. So
thunderclap.
That's what it sounded like.
Thunderclap.
With us today is Ben Kopnick.
Wah!
Hi.
Yes! That was perfect. You're the
Thank
best.
you.
Welcome, Ben.
Thank you, Steve.
Welcome to this little circus.
I am very excited to be here.
Oh, we're so happy to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm very excited.
We are fairly new acquaintances in the
Yes.
grand scheme of life.
I'd
I
say
would
new friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had new friends.
My
Acquaintances.
bad.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
I wanted to see how the episode went.
Well, you couldn't...
So
That's
Oh,
that's
God.
fair
All
point,
right.
Satish. Fair point, Satish.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
fair
if the
point.
episode fails, it's usually on me. So
I'd say that's 100% true.
yeah.
It's not my fault.
Yeah, I'm gonna have this as a disclaimer that this isn't me. Not on me.
But yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, Ben.
So, Satish, you mentioned that we are fairly new acquaintances. We know
Friends.
Friends. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's going well. So I'm
Okay,
gonna
it's
go with
going well,
friends.
so we're
Yeah.
gonna go with friends. Okay,
Yeah.
we don't have to wait to the end of the episode. I'm so glad, everyone. I'm very glad.
Are you really glad we're friends?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm glad I'm here.
We're not like making you say this.
No, no. There's no coercion. There's
Things
no.
you can get away with
Yeah.
when it's audio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we really should have a
You
camera in
can't
here.
see
everyone.
his eyes.
So we are new friends as of last fall because Azure and my partner Erica
Yep.
went to college together.
It's true.
And there was a big reunion last fall, and we all stayed together in the same house and hung out and made friends, and I got to see bonded. It was
I
fantastic.
say we bonded.
Oh yeah,
In fact,
it
a
was
lot of filthy jokes.
a lot of filthy jokes, which we can't tell here. I don't think. I don't
We
know.
could.
We could. Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Well,
They were really bad.
yeah, they were
They
really.
were-
There
yeah.
were some rough
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
But now I just
Yeah.
want...
I mean, we laughed through it all. So
Yeah.
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 Who told the jokes? Oh, I know.
Bridget.
Yeah, so
That was.
if she ever
everyone-
comes to town, we're getting her on this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're going to have
was-
extra disclaimers.
There were several participants,
Yeah.
mostly the women.
Of course.
Yeah.
We're filthy,
Yeah.
filthy, filthy creatures.
Yeah.
And our brains work faster than... Well, I don't want to say it out loud.
Better? Is that what you want to say?
Well-
You
Oh,
might be
Better?
carrying some man hating from the last episode.
I might be.
Yeah. Which we will catch you up on
Yeah,
soon.
I listened to
My
a little
goodness.
bit. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Ben, what do you love about? Well, I feel like we cut you off though. Did you get to say
Oh, yeah,
what
we
you
didn't-
wanted
we
to say
didn't-
about yourself?
No,
yeah,
that's good.
anything else?
No, that's good. That's
Okay.
because you mentioned that we're fairly new acquaintances,
Yes.
and so I
Yeah.
thought I would let the listening audience know how we became acquainted.
I
and,
love that.
And built not just an acquaintanceship, but a friendship.
Oh wow, that's like a whole story already. I hope I can match the podcast.
How are you
going to
follow that, man?
I don't know. Fortunately,
worried
it's
for
not
you.
mine, so we can figure it out.
Okay.
Speaking of, what do you love about stories?
I feel like stories are what the world is built upon. I feel like, so I have some background, a little bit more about myself. I have a background as a freelance journalist. So I've done, and I have a degree in communications and journalism. So I've done a fair amount of journalism work, and I've always thought and told people, I said, I feel like people have the best stories. And the more that we can know about each other, I think the better it makes our world. It makes us,
100%.
it increases understanding and knowledge and empathy and all those good, wonderful things that the world, and so that's what I love about stories. And then, knowing that, I also do have a little bit of a background with having come to listen to you, Satish, and and so, knowing that not just people but gods also have some of that. So
They have some interesting stories.
Yeah, they do. So I feel like that is something that I'm always looking for. I always want to read a good story or listen to a good story, and so it's just, I know I've said it like 17 times already, everyone. So that's why I'm so excited to be here.
This is the podcast to do that with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well,
Thank
let me follow up. I usually ask always like, what's your familiarity with the Mahabharata? So Ben, listeners came to storytelling I did where I talked about
Live storytelling.
a live storytelling where I did the story of Karna's origin, which I think is our episode 7, as I used a lot from that episode. And so aside from that, do you have any other familiarity with Indian mythology and the Mahabharata?
No.
Okay.
I could maybe come up with a couple of names, but I could not put any sort of identifying mark on them, and I certainly could not come up with. I don't know anything that has any sort of a narrative or a thread through it. So no, I don't know the stories.
That makes
Great.
you a perfect guess. Yes.
Wonderful.
We don't need to know it all. I'm just
Okay.
kidding. I'll cut that out.
We'll have a know-it-all
Keep it in.
come soon.
Oh, shoot, we
guess.
are. We're working on that.
Oh
Yeah. Although that may air before this one, so we'll
Who
see
knows?
how that goes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. Tune in, listeners.
Yeah.
That
Definitely
sounds
tune in.
so good. You got a voice for radio.
Thanks. I have a face for radio
I
too.
know. Well, I wouldn't say that.
Aw, thanks. I wasn't fishing for a compliment. I just like.
Well, you got one.
Oh well, here's another thing to know about me, listeners, is I like to tell corny jokes. My partner could tell you that would probably be the first thing she would tell people about me. So you may hear some later in the episode.
I can't wait.
When she tells people, is it complimentary or not complimentary or just statement of fact?
It's a great question, Satish. I would say it depends on the joke. And
Okay.
it depends on her mood, but she's not shy about grading the jokes. She's
Yep.
she
That hasn't changed.
yeah,
That's
we're,
good.
We're still together. We still live together. But she's open about with her feedback.
Good.
Yeah, which is I think is healthy for a relationship. Yeah.
Yep.
I hope
Are
so.
you
I
ready
can't tell
for some
from your tone
feedback?
if it is.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah.
What's your score on the Erica scale? What's the average?
On the Erica
Oh,
scale.
that's a very good question. Oh man, she would be.
Is it
a better-
seasonal?
I
Is
mean,
it...
it's.
Do you have a quarterly?
I mean, yeah, we should.
Ratio?
We should have some sort of a keep a notebook or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Spreadsheet.
Or spreadsheet.
Oh, I
yeah.
love a spreadsheet.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot that we're in the 21st century, listeners.
No, notebook is fine.
Yeah, that's true.
But I love a spreadsheet.
Yeah, I would say at this point, because we're now 5 years into our relationship, I would say, I mean, it's probably about a C. It probably is. It probably averages out. There's a high enough volume that that the sample size does.
Okay.
It tends. I would think it would be a fair and healthy sample size. But yeah, she definitely has ones that she'll give me credit for, and then others she will just pretend I didn't even say them.
I see. Oh, okay, got it. Got it.
Yep.
I cannot wait for her to listen to this and be like, "What the fuck?"
She told me she was going to listen, and I know she is. So. I know she is. 'Cause she's very nice.
She is very nice.
She's very nice.
We really like her.
Yeah.
I like her.
She's very nice. She's very nice.
Yeah.
I just met her,
Oh, yeah, I guess.
but she's very nice.
She's very
So,
nice.
yes.
All right, Erica, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
But just to keep everything honest, she's deeply, deeply weird, but very nice.
There you go. They're more accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best type of nice. Okay.
Let's move on from Erica.
So, all right.
Good gracious.
Hope you're having a good day, Erica.
We love you. You're
all
very
right.
pretty.
So we are
Yes, you are.
getting we are getting into actually the next big section of the Mahabharata.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the epic things that have happened before and where we are at.
Okay.
So we're in the crux of this whole thing, which is between cousins. It is between the 5 Pandavas and the 100 Kauravas. You don't need to know all the Kauravas.
It's not very balanced.
That is, yeah, that's a...
But
Yeah.
yet it
Yeah.
kind of is. Continue.
So, the Pandavas, 2 days ago, had an entire empire. Then the oldest of the Pandavas lost all of it in the game of dice.
Oh, that was quick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The oldest of the Pandavas is Yudhishthira. Mm-hmm. And the way this went is that they called Yudhishthira, the Kauravas called Yudhishthira over, and all the Pandavas like, hey, we should gamble for stuff. And it was like clear pretty soon that Yudhishthira has a gambling problem.
Yeah.
And in some sense, he was like, no, I have to play because it's by honor and shit like that. There was a previous guest we've had who, like, right off the bat, he's like, I don't understand honor. And, like, this is the story where you don't fucking understand honor.
Yep.
Because what happened is the Pandavas lost everything. They lost their kingdom. They lost all their chariots.
Their people.
Yep, they lost their people.
Everything.
And then Yudhishthira, the oldest, started gambling the Pandavas themselves.
The brothers.
Oh.
So one
Yeah,
by
it's gross.
one.
That's, oh, yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, one by one lost all 5, and so lost the 4 younger ones, and then himself. What has made the Pandavas so, like, kind of invincible, and is that all 5 of them are married to one woman.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
Draupadi.
Draupadi.
Draupadi
All-
is the wife.
Yes. All married to Draupadi,
Okay.
and they are very happy with the arrangement, have been for years. And, like, over time, they've actually have other wives as well. Yudhishthira then... Oh, and then Draupadi is, like, the most gorgeous woman in the world.
That's why I said Draupadi.
Yeah.
It conveyed the gorgeousness.
got that?
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let your imagination go wild.
Oh,
Seriously. Do it.
I am.
Yudhishthira then gambled Draupadi.
Bad
Oh, and by the way-
idea.
One thing to know, on the Kaurava side, so the main Kaurava is Duryhodhana. He's the oldest who wants fucking everything. His uncle is Shakuni, who has loaded dice.
Oh, okay.
So they don't win a single game. They don't win a single game. The die rolls all the time. So loses Draupadi, who, again, most gorgeous woman, beyond trophy wife. And
Sounds like it.
what happens then is, like, because she's not there when it happens, and so there's a little back and forth where she's like, wait, what happened? What the fuck is going on? She is dragged there to the court while she is on her period.
Oh.
And then as things get more heated and debates start going on, because the elders are just watching this, and the elders are, well, this is all within the law, so we can't do anything. But they see her get totally disrespected, and then Duryhodhana the Kaurava says, "You are my slaves. Strip down." So the Pandavas strip down, all 5 of them. Draupadi, they start ripping off her clothes. Now, a miracle thing that does happen is that as they're ripping off, they keep ripping off her clothes. She only has the one garment on because she's on her period. But she's never disrobed. They make a whole pile of clothes because it just keeps kind of manifesting new clothes. So that miracle happens. That kind of finally sets Duryodhana's father, the Dhrishtadyumna, like, oh fuck, God is on her side. We fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And so then what he does is he's like, screw all this, it's done, whatever. Draupadi, what do you want? Offers her 3 wishes.
Basically begs forgiveness from Draupadi.
Begs forgiveness, offers her 3 wishes. And she asks for the freedom of her husband, and then everyone, and then everything else back.
Okay.
And then doesn't use the 3rd wish.
Okay, so she's got a wish in her pocket.
No,
It's
she
done.
waved it off. She didn't
waved
want
it
it. She goes, I don't want your stinking 3rd
okay.
wish.
Pretty much.
Okay, she
Yeah.
waved it. Got
Yeah.
it.
She doesn't want it.
Okay.
Before they leave, Shakuni and Duryodhana are like, oh no, we can't let this go. And they manage to convince Dhritarashtra to call the Pandavas back for another last roll of the die. And on this one,
And he said yes.
and he said yes.
Because he's an addict.
Because he's an addict. Of course. Yeah.
So
Or
infuriating.
it's part of Dharma, because it's honor. You have to play die when
You
by-
can't see my glare.
by some versions of the story. And in this case, the loser will spend 12 years in the forest, or 12 years away from the kingdom, so just in the forest,
Yep.
and then the 13th year in hiding.
So invisible
Okay, so-
from anybody.
Yeah,
Okay.
visible from everybody.
Okay. So away from
And-
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they lose because it's still fucking loaded dice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed.
Yeah. Nothing has changed,
And so they leave, but as they leave, Yudhishthira, the oldest, again covers his eyes because he'll end up cursing this nation called Hastinapur. Bhim, the second oldest, who's also the strongest, he's fucking flexing on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
And they've all made violent threats. So Bhim has said, I'm gonna smash the Duryodhana's thighs. And the one who actually did all the shitty, horrible things to Draupadi, I will drink his blood.
it's very serious.
he's
That's
pissed.
Yeah. As he should be.
He's pissed.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
And then Arjuna, the greatest archer in the world, he picks up some sand on the way out and just lets it kind of fall down, meant to symbolize all the arrows that are going to rain down in this place.
Ooh, I like that symbolism.
That's
yeah.
a good
It's
one.
a lot of arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sahadeva and Nakula, the youngest, who are also twins, also, one says, I'm going to kill Shakuni, and everyone who's kind of part of this. One thing to note is that when they all kind of are angry with Yudhishthira, who gambled everything, including them,
Of course.
Yeah, I would be angry too.
right? They didn't stand up and stop it. They're all invincible type warriors, right?
Yeah.
Bhim has battled demons. Arjuna can fire 1,000,000 arrows a minute, and
They just stood there and watched it happen.
They
Because it was
just-
their big brother.
yeah.
Yeah.
But even when Draupadi when she was being challenged and asking, because there was a point when she's asking the whole court, is this just? Is this what's good? We say we're a noble nation, but look at all these horrible things that are happening to me now, and the husbands didn't do anything.
Seems like a missed opportunity.
I would say,
Yeah.
yeah, husbands
Yeah.
didn't do anything there, and even when she's being disrobed, didn't even do anything there because they're following the law of Dharma. Well, we've lost ourselves, so we don't have the power.
Well, now they have 12 plus 1 year to dig themselves out of that fucking hole. Good luck to them.
Yeah. Hi, listeners. If you are enjoying the Not Your Mother's Mahabharata podcast, we invite you to visit our website, spjailraj.com, where you can see the other projects we've got going on. If you're a fan of mythic and magical-filled stories, you can check out my fantasy books and explore the magical world of Adajari, where my stories take place. You can read up on imagination life coaching to see how I help creatives, individuals, and teams expand and apply their imagination towards living happier and more fulfilling lives. You can also look up my related self-help books that are inspired by global myths. If you live in the Twin Cities Metro and want to see me tell stories live, you can look up the calendar to see my upcoming shows. Or, if you're interested in bringing some storytelling and imagination directly to your community, there is the option to start that conversation on the website as well. And of course, you can check out all our episodes of the Not Your Mother's Mahabharata podcast. You can find all of this and more at spjailraj.com. That is spjayayraj.com. All right, back to the show. This actually ended a part of the Mahabharata, so now this part begins, and I guess this is called the Book of the Forest. Okay. And so,
cool.
So this is actually a lot about. So we are like 30% in to the Mahabharata. This is a long book within the entire Mahabharata, and it's book 3.
Book 3. Okay.
So this lasts quite a while.
Okay.
Then so now it's basically a lot of these stories of them, of the forest stories.
Okay.
They have lived in the forest before. When they were actually born while in the wild, and then during an event that happened earlier, they were also. So fortunately, they're not like these 5 anyway. Are not alien to this sort of stuff.
They're not like city kids.
Yeah,
they can handle it.
They know how to handle like living with like almost nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. They last did so with their mother. This time, the mother is staying back in the cities. Okay. And then they also all have other wives. They are staying with their respective families during this period.
Right, because the wives aren't there, and then
they didn't need to come with them, I guess.
Yeah, so they didn't need to come with them. So the ones in the forest are the Pandavas, all 5 Pandavas, and Draupadi, the common wife.
That's it.
Yeah.
No questions so far.
Yeah, any questions so far?
That was a big deep recap.
I mean, no. I mean, I have a lot of questions about the decisions made but in terms of the actual like logistics of the story, no.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll have to go back to previous episodes to get those details.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will do that.
Episode 30 is the one that has this
all the
entire
action
shit show on it.
Okay. Okay.
There's yelling.
Oh, that's
from me for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like because when Satish was just telling, I wanted to yell during and
you can.
Yeah, and the fact that
you're welcome to yell.
They all just stood there because of it boggles the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But it was a different time, it was a different place.
Yeah.
We often talk about this, that we put our modern take on the story.
Yeah.
So we can get shocked. We're shocked by the things that happen, but again, it's not even the same culture, not the same time. So anyway, still,
this is valid outrage because it's meant to be.
Yes.
It's a shocking like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Yes,
what
exactly.
the actual fuck?
Yeah. So one last moment of recap. One thing to know about the Mahabharata is that it's the Pandavas and the Kauravas. We know there's going to be a great battle. Once this happens, there's a couple different sages who come and say, yeah, this is the beginning of the end. Because of this shit that just happened, the fallout from this is going to be the end of this kingdom. Mm-hmm. Because this was just so horrific that it's just going to have to be cleansed.
Sounds about right.
By washing everything away in blood.
Sounds like rock bottom to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, rock bottom.
Rock bottom. Let's go to the forest.
Yeah. So
the
Pandavas.
frolicking.
So the Pandavas are going to the forest.
They don't deserve to frolic yet.
And there's a bunch of brahmanas, so holy people who come to join them.
Okay.
I think it's like 14 by some texts.
Oh, okay.
So 14 Brahmin, and like
Do they just like follow them?
they do. Yudhishthira kind of puts up a fight for a while. He's like, well, you don't have to go through all this difficult life because of this, and they there's some discussions, and then the Brahmins are like, even gods won't turn away holy Brahmins, all holy people.
Sure.
No, so
Like when Forrest Gump was running across the United States and he had people come and join him because they wanted to worship him.
yeah,
Great.
exactly.
That
Nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That helps
he's-
put it in that
and
modern
and
context.
He didn't really want them there. And when he was done, he was like, I guess I'm going home now. And they were like, but what about us? He goes, I don't know. I don't know. That's not a quote.
Yeah.
But
Well,
It's close.
we'll get to that
It's pretty
in
close.
12 years, what happens in this case.
Okay.
So, but yeah, they do join. And the nice thing about them having is that they're all, like, they know the stories, they know the older stories and how to tell them. And so they're kind of a source of comfort for the Pandavas and Draupadi. Just a little way for them to kind of get away from all the horrible shit that just happened. But Yudhishthira is, as they kind of go a little bit deeper into the forest, is like I have to be able to feed you guys.
sure.
No, and they say no, like we'll figure it out, we'll survive as you guys do.
Yeah.
But Yudhishthira was once emperor of the world 2 days ago.
Right.
And if they're
Right.
coming with him, he feels like it's his responsibility at least to find a way to feed these guys.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It's his fault that all of them
Yeah.
were there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the one who got them into this mess.
He can find them some fruit.
Yeah.
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 He can go foraging.
They can find some fruits. They can find some
Chickens.
roots, is what I saw.
Oh, roots?
I don't know how
No
wild
chickens?
chicken are.
Got it. No, I'm sorry. That doesn't make sense. Continue.
The head priest is Domya, who's kind of been with the
Domya?
Pandavas for a while. Domya.
Damya.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
He's been advising them for since they were kids. And he tells them to he gives Yudhishthira a hint. It's start look to the sun.
Okay.
And look to Surya Dev, who is the sun god. And because he provides for everything. So that's what Yudhishthira does. He goes on a little mini pilgrimage where he just spend mostly meditating, eating nothing, fasting, and then honoring the sun. Doing, in many books that I've read, what is called Surya Namaskar, which is a no yoga technique that many people still do in the morning.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
So he does that as he's there's a part meditation to it, and then when he opens his eyes and he sees a blazing figure in front of him.
Whoa.
So Surya
Cool.
Dev has come down
Well, hello there.
to speak to Yudhishthira.
Is that what they sounded like? Well,
Yeah,
hello there.
that's how the sun would sound.
Hello there.
That's a really good son.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm trying to make my voice bright like the sun would be.
Yeah,
Okay.
makes sense. Totally makes sense.
Sorry.
I should. Next time I'll write these down and we can just play parts.
Oh, I would love that. Oh, I love that so much.
So Surya gives to Yudhishthira a plate.
Here's a plate.
Yep. A glowing plate. That was clearly super hot seconds ago, but when Yudhishthira takes it, it's cool to the touch.
Very interesting.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and he is told that serve food from this plate and make sure Draupadi eats last each time.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
he takes the plate. One of the other things is that these 5 boys are very able. They actually build themselves some houses and some
course.
shelter for everybody.
Yeah.
Of course they
Right?
would.
So they've got themselves a working kitchen. But the food here, and this is why Yudhishthira was so concerned, the food around is very frugal.
Okay.
Very frugal.
Scarce.
Scarce
Yeah.
and sparse.
So they
okay.
get maybe enough for a child. And so they gather that and give it to you to Draupadi to make some food. So she puts it on the plate, and then she goes to serve, and she goes to serve the brahmanas first. And as she goes to serve them, food appears on the plate.
Oh,
good.
yes.
That's good. I
I love this plate.
Yeah.
And Suryadeva says, like, while you were here, while you were doing this exile for 13 years, you will never go hungry.
Awesome.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to come back after 13 years, little, like, chunky monkeys, I think, you know?
Yeah.
We had plenty of food. Beam's going to
wanted.
be like, boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum.
Yeah, it's going to be a tuba.
It's gonna be a tuba.
Beam already eats, like, twice what everybody else eats total. So
the way you were describing these brothers, they sounded like voracious eaters to begin with.
Yeah.
And then I would presume with the exile, it would only increase the appetite. So
yeah.
And also,
they're going to eat
it's
their sadness,
really
too.
good fucking food.
I'm sure.
So
Well, Draupadi made it. And it's enhanced by the plate?
Enhanced by the plate. Draupadi had
So
just
it's
a
a
couple of
salty
roots
plate.
to work
It's got a
with.
lot of salt on it.
Yeah, that must be it. Well, on the
Seasoned. It's a well-seasoned plate.
well-seasoned plate, yeah.
Maybe it's cast iron.
maybe, yeah. But again, but we have like rice and lentils, like all sorts of dishes like appearing on it as she's serving it, and they're telling them that this is like the best food we've ever had.
Amazing.
Ever. And better even than when you had a whole palace and things.
Wow.
So,
Cool.
Must be good food.
a really magical plate.
Also,
And and the way it works, everybody eats. All the Pandavas eat. Beam, of course, eats twice as much as anyone else. And then after Draupadi eats, then the food stops coming. And it's self-cleaning.
what? What do you mean it's self-cleaning?
As in, when she's done with her meal, it's
gone.
it's clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And
fantastic.
she just puts it
Yeah.
up on the shelf for the next time. The next time she's going to put a couple grapes on it
Yeah.
and carries it out to her.
I would keep that plate.
What?
I would keep that plate very close.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, you're
think.
going to drop it, though. You got to put it somewhere safe.
Yeah. Of
Don't
course.
just carry it around with you.
It's a very valuable plate.
All right.
And
Okay.
it's,
We have
and it's
different
pristine.
methods.
I mean,
Different
yeah.
methods. If you
it's-
ever get a plate like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to have a real discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like discussion. I would keep a pristine
keep
plate,
it?
keep it close.
Like with
It-
you?
I mean,
You're not afraid of dropping it or falling on it or
I
someone
know-
stealing it from you?
The reason I'm going back on my decision, only because if I had it with me all the time,
You drop it.
I'm more concerned that I would just use it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Boom,
I'll have,
boom, boom,
yeah.
boom,
Like, I'll have a
boom.
lasagna and shake
Yeah.
it and maybe one will appear.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Lot of, see, this is why these guys have read the Vedas and very wise people. They know
Yeah,
not to
they
do
know
that
not to
stuff.
do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's them.
okay.
Okay. So that's their
There's a
lifestyles
lot
at the
of discussion
moment.
on a plate.
It's a very important plate.
cool
It's a very.
Yeah.
It sounds like a cool plate. I'm trying to picture it.
Uh-huh.
I bet it's pretty.
Yes, it's whatever we want to picture, I think. Because
I'm
I didn't
picturing
find
it's
anyone.
pretty.
Gold.
Yeah, I'd have to be gold.
Like the sun.
yeah, I'd have to be
Yeah.
gold like the sun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is where they're at.
Okay.
We're gonna.
So they got their own little village,
They
basically.
basically got their own little tiny
village, plenty
village.
of
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
They've got a
Hanging
nice.
out.
They got a nice setup after
They're
all
doing okay.
they've been
Yeah,
through.
they're
Yeah.
doing okay. They're going deeper into this forest as well. The Kamyaka forest,
Okay.
which we'll hear about later. So we'll pan back to the Hastinapur, right? So all the king and stuff, and we'll pan back to Duryodhana's father, who is the king, Dhritarashtra. Okay, so Dhritarashtra, through this whole thing, he was the one who finally, at the end, like after the whole magical clothes kept appearing, was like, "Oh shit, we're on the wrong fucking side,"
Yeah.
and finally does take some action, but then gives in to his son once again to gamble away their freedom for like 13 years.
Yeah.
And he's sitting on his throne. One thing to know about him is that he's blind.
Okay.
The Pandavas are his dead brother's kids. And then he has another brother whose name is Vidura. Because Dhritarashtra is blind, Vidura has always been kind of there and telling him everything that happens. And so this is what's happening now. Like, so very loyal. They're very close brothers. Vidura is also someone who has always argued for the Pandavas. Like, when this gambling thing was happening, he tried from the very beginning to stop it from happening. He was like, this is madness, stop it. Dhritarashtra ignored him.
Yeah.
And so now, Dhritarashtra's fretting on his throne, thinking, fuck, these Pandavas, when they say a vow, they plan to keep it.
Oh, yeah.
And they threatened to kill all of my children.
Yep.
And justifiably so because of what the dumbass fucking did.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds like it.
So he's fretting. He's like, what the hell can I do now? And he calls Vidura. And he's like, Vidura, you've always been looking toward, like, helping out both the Pandavas and the Kauravas. You've always been fair and
Very
just.
bipartisan.
Yeah, you've always done that.
Reach across the aisle.
You know, I know sometimes you've said more on the Pandavas, but I understand in this moment that you care about both sides of the family. What can be done now to heal this tension? Because right now, news of what happened has also spread throughout the nation. So the nation does not trust Dhritarashtra's sons.
Of course not.
Yeah, that.
No, they're like, if they can do that to Draupadi, why can't they do that to any of us?
Right.
Like, we don't want to be in this nation. So all of this is happening, and so Dhritarashtra's like, what? And of course all the fucking threats.
Yeah.
So he asks Vidura, Vidura, what can we do? What do you suggest? Wise Vidura, give me counsel. And Vidura says, well, as we had done one time before, we give the Pandavas in the Prashta, so half the nation, give them in the Prashta back.
Just do it again.
Yeah, just give them that part of the nation.
Mm-hmm.
If Duryhodhana complains about that, your son Duryhodhana complains about that, give the Pandavas, give Yudhishthira the whole nation.
Yeah.
Show that you understand what is just, make the right, honorable decision here, and that is the only way your people will come and support you. The people will be like, oh, he is a good king after all. And if we forgive him, we're going to forgive his sons as well. More importantly, perhaps, gain the forgiveness of the Pandavas and gain the forgiveness of Draupadi. Mm-hmm. This is it. Give them the nation. Yeah, and if there's any fuss from your son, give them the whole nation.
Yeah.
That is the only way at this point, after everything that was done, that is the only way for this to work out. To which Dhritarashtra is like, oh, fuck you, Vidura.
That's, understandable.
He's like, you're always supporting the Pandavas over my sons. Like, they're my blood. Quoted from Sanskrit.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Fuck off. That's not what I wanted to hear. God.
And he's like, if you love the Pandavas so much, just go live with them. Leave the city.
Get out of
Leave
here.
my city. And he goes off in a huff.
Go hang out with your best friends.
Yeah, I bet that was a pretty big huff he went off in.
I know.
And Vidura is like, well, I guess I've just been kicked out of the nation. So he leaves. And he tracks down the Pandavas' path.
Nice.
To where they are. And he does find them. So he does find...
He's like, this is a sweet pad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sweet. You have a swimming pool?
Yeah.
When did you get a swimming pool?
Because they made a swimming pool.
Well, of course. They have a
Well, I
swimming
think they're
pool.
just by the river, too.
I know.
So.
Well, they have the sitting pool
Uh-huh.
that they've dug out. And
Yeah.
then there's the river,
Uh-huh.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like these takes on it.
Oh my gosh. Can you... Yeah. That's the third thing I would put in if I had my own little community.
Yeah.
Swimming pool. Sitting pool. Waiting pool.
A waiting pool?
A waiting
Yeah.
pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Draupadi to hang out in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go
Warmed
in.
by the sun.
One by the sun.
Yeah, they don't even need to build a sunroom. It's
Nope.
the whole
Exactly.
the whole setup is a sunroom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I'd have a lot of hammocks. I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I would too.
Hammocks.
Hammocks make sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the forest.
They're in the forest, yeah.
Cool. Anyway, there's a pool. There's hammocks.
There's a pool. There's hammocks in our scenario.
Yeah. There's a plate that never empties.
Yep. There's a plate that never empties
until it's supposed to. It's a great place.
Yeah, they're doing okay.
Yeah.
And because of the brahmanas there too, telling stories.
Yeah, they're entertained.
They're entertained.
Great.
But of course, what has happened is still.
No, it's still gross.
It's still there, right?
Yeah.
Even between them as well, they're making nice with each other. You know, they're being civil with each other.
Right.
There's tension all around.
Okay.
But Vidura gets there, things are going well, and then Sanjaya appears. Sanjaya is King Dhritarashtra's chariot driver.
Okay.
And like something like, you know, it's not a balanced relationship, obviously, but it is kind of like they know each other, they talk like, not friends-ish, but it's some likeness between, you know.
Yeah, it's a close relationship.
It's a close relationship, yeah. Those are the words I'm looking for. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Sanjaya comes, and they've met, like the Pandavas have met him before. And they're like, oh, Sanjaya's coming. I wonder what's going on. And Yudhishthira gets like a lump in his throat. He's like, oh, fuck. I hope to God they're not calling us back to gamble again. Right? To gamble our weapons. Because they have like different God-given weapons.
Yeah.
One guy's got a magic bow. One guy's got a magic mace. I'm sure there are magic swords and spears. And he's like, oh, God, what if he's come to ask us to gamble again? So there's that moment of fear.
He should run away. So he can't be asked.
Yeah.
Just put his hands over his ears.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Just put half his head into the wading pool.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sounds refreshing.
It's good for so many things. I want a pool too.
One of us should get a pool.
We should.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Then we'll invite the other one over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It could be like a timeshare pool.
Good.
You don't have to sit through a presentation.
I mean, I don't mind a presentation.
A presentation? What?
A slideshow?
Yeah.
Yeah, for timeshares.
Okay. I'm unfamiliar with the culture.
It's fine.
That's fair.
The culture of timeshares?
Yeah. Sorry, that was a very strange tangent.
I liked it. I'm here for it.
So Sanjaya is just here to bring Vidura back and say that Dhritarashtra is very sorry. He needs you back. He's falling sick.
Oh.
He's sick.
Yeah.
No.
And you know, there's some accounts that like, yes, he loves his son Duryhodhana to a past fault.
Okay.
Yeah.
With allowing all the things, but he does absolutely love Vidura as well.
Vidura's the good one.
Yeah, and Vidura is like he's just.
It's always dichotomy.
He just makes these bad fucking decisions. He believes he's a good guy, but at the same time, like all of this has happened, and like I'll go back because he's my brother and I'll be there for him, but I don't know if it's in my power at all to like save his soul.
Wait, Vidura's saying that about
Dhritarashtra.
I can't say it.
Dhritarashtra.
Dhritarashtra.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Vidura does go back.
Okay.
All the way back, does Anapur. He does make up with his brother. He's like, I really do care about both the Pandavas and the Kauravas equally, but the Pandavas are the ones suffering right now, so they're the ones who have my attention.
Yeah.
And Duryodhana's, but the other one, he's my bloodborn, first son and things like that, so yada yada. So he's back. He'll serve the same purpose, but he kind of realizes, I guess we'll see how this shit plays out now.
Right.
No. They're all like all the elders are happy to see him back. So Bhishma, who you know, but all the elders are happy to see him back. Of course, Duryodhana is not happy to see him back. Duryodhana is like, oh, good, the Pandava lover's back.
Right.
He's going to convince, and he gets his council of people. So, the main people so it's Duryodhana, I think it's the second oldest brother, Dusasana, and he's the one who ripped the clothes off Draupadi.
Son of a bitch.
Yep.
Yeah,
and then it is
Uh-uh.
Shakuni, who is his uncle on his mother's side, the one who rolled the die.
Tricky bastard.
With the loaded dice.
The loaded dice.
Yeah.
Oof.
And then there is Karna, who is someone who they kind of made friends with because Karna also didn't like the Pandavas, and Karna's also a fantastic archer. Duryhodhana kind of went out of his way with him, and Karna's like pledged all loyalty to him. And so these four are kind of plotting and chatting. And it's like, okay, what can we do now? Like he's gonna give the kingdom back, as he did before.
Yeah.
And I think it's Shakuni who's like, the Pandavas they played the game of dice, and from what we saw, they let all that stuff happen because of honor.
Mm-hmm.
And by the agreement of that game, they will be gone for 12 years, be in hiding for the 13th.
Yep.
They agreed to that. By their dharma, by their code of honor, they will not take the kingdom.
Right.
Until that happens.
Until that time
happens.
So they have all these years to figure it out what they want to do.
Yeah. So even if Dhritarashtra offers them Indraprastha, like half the nation, they're not going to take it. And so...
Do you think he'd do that before the 12, 13 years were up?
Who?
The king?
Well, that's what they're afraid of. That's what Duryodhana's afraid of.
Okay.
Duryodhana's is like, now that Vidura is back and he's going to talk all plus about the Pandavas, that he will convince Dhritarashtra to offer the kingdom back.
Okay. I would think they'd wait till the end of the... Give him a lot of time.
They get that back anyway then.
Sure.
So, yeah, he's looking to offer it now. But Dhritarashtra's not going to do that anyway. Like, he already kind of decided not to. But even if, like, Shakuni makes the point, like, even if he did, they're not going to take it back.
Gotcha.
They're sticking to this vow.
Okay,
Gotcha.
so they're not gonna break the vow.
Yeah, they're not gonna break their vow. So, it doesn't really comfort. You know, like, what Duryodhana says to the idea of the Pandavas coming back, what he'll do?
I bet he's going to kill himself.
He's going to kill himself.
I'm going to kill myself.
So, Ben, this has been his, like, throughout the whole gambling match, whenever it's like, if I don't get what I want, I'm going to kill myself.
Okay, so he could, okay.
He's a whiny little baby bitch that just cries wolf all the time.
And then Daddy Dhritarashtra's like, oh, I can't let him kill
I
himself.
don't want him to kill himself.
I'll humiliate this woman, that's fine. So, all these things are said. And then, so they're trying to figure out ways to, like, calm and make him happy. Because, like, yeah, like, what do we do? And Karna's just like, well, we could just go kill them.
Oh.
You know?
I mean, that sounds like a Karna thing to say.
Karna loves the battle. He always wants the fight. Previous examples as well. It's like, we could just go, like, wage war with them. You could just go kill them. Right now, they're just wearing deer skins.
It is the simple solution.
Yeah.
It is,
and then you don't have to wait. And, you know, and of course, amongst the four of them, they justify it and in different ways. Like, yeah, we're the blood children and all that stuff anyway.
Yeah, we're better than them.
Yeah. So they...
Let's do it, guys. Let's get them.
We're not going to tell Dhritarashtra. He'll forgive us anyway. What is the line? Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to do that.
Yeah.
So, I read two different versions.
Sorry,
one, it's like, they just go into cover at night. One is they get like a little army.
Okay.
So they get a little army. Everything's like kind of ready to go, dead of night. And then they're called into the meeting hall. They're called into the Sabha hall. And they go there. Dhritarashtra's father is a sage named Vyasa. Vyasa's a dude who lives in the forest, very wise, very magical, who kind of comes in and out of the story.
It's not a very present father.
Yeah.
Absent father. Okay.
Yeah.
That was the agreement, though.
I know.
Well, now we have to cover, because I don't want poor Vyasa.
I'm sorry.
Vyasa...
You cast aspersions on his name.
I didn't mean to.
Vyasa agreed to give his seed, and then he could go back to the forest, and then the kids would be raised by a palace, including a king.
So he's a sperm donor.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. But they go there...
A magical one.
A magical one.
Yeah.
And this is how magical he is.
Okay.
They go to the Sabha, like, what the fuck? We were just about to go kill the Pandavas. And then he's there, and he just gives them a look. And they're like, oh, fuck, he knows.
Bing! Right? That's the look.
Yeah.
It's like eye contact, and it goes, bing!
Mm-hmm. Why Sage...
sorry.
Old Vyasa, who also is the one who like wrote the Mahabharata many, many years later.
Yeah.
So he is speaking to Dhritarashtra and is like, I've heard about all the shit that fucking happened. I can't believe all this stuff happened. We are meant to be a noble house. And then on top of that, these four are going to go with an army and now try to kill the Pandavas.
These 4 dipshits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
These 4 dipshits
Yeah, that...
are going to go kill these guys. Or try to. They're going to fail. They would die.
Yeah.
They will be going to their death, and then everything that'll happen in 13 years would happen now. What the fuck? And Dhritarashtra, to his father Vyasa, is like, maybe you can speak to him. I'm blinded by love. I cannot speak on this part. It won't work. Maybe you can speak to him. Vyasa speaks and says that he tries. And a lot of these, and I've read a lot of this, just regurgitation of the same thing. Like, this is why you shouldn't do this. And it's like, okay, you're not hearing this from me. Fortunately, there's another traveling sage who is new to me, as your storyteller, Maitreya, who was meant to be another powerful sage. I was like, maybe you will listen to him. And so Maitreya is either passing by or Vyasa summons him. Tall sage, booming speaking voice, giant white beard.
Cool.
And same, like, but really empowered, like, this should not have ever happened. Also says the things that Vidura said. Give them back their kingdom after all this, otherwise there will be bloodshed. Give everything back to them, call them back, befriend the Pandavas. They are the sons of gods. Each of the Pandavas are the son of a god. A different god.
Different gods.
Okay, different gods. Okay.
Except the last 2, they're twins. They're twins, but they're born of twins. It's really weird.
Oh.
Well, twins have twins. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Twins run in the family.
The mother fucked twin gods.
And so she had twins.
And so she had
twins. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because the twins would have twins in their blood.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But which twin is the father?
Both of them.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
what's weird and cool. So, yeah. So that's the twins. Yeah. These are the Pandavas, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is the backstories of how they came to be. They're powerful motherfuckers.
Those fucking guys.
You know?
Yeah, those fucking
And
guys.
so Maitreya is like, you need to befriend them. This needs to end. It is the only way now. And he even tells you to go spend some time in the forest with them.
They're a good hang.
Yeah. Go do that.
They have a pool.
And hammocks.
And hammocks. And alongside that, great personalities.
Don't bring your dice.
No? Yeah, don't bring your dice.
Yeah, don't bring the dice.
You know, and just continues. There's like Beam. Like, we've heard of the feats of Beam. He killed 3 demons beforehand, and in the little time he's already been in the forest, now we know he's killed another more powerful demon.
What a guy. That's helpful.
He killed a demon while eating a snack.
I mean, that takes
He was
talent.
eating food with one hand and killing a demon with
Yep.
the other.
That's...
He doesn't give any shits.
Yeah.
He'll kill you. He'll kill whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's also sweet. I think he's sweet.
Beam?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally he is.
He's a sweetheart, but he'll kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah.
If you're
Absolutely.
if you deserve it.
That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from these guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, and Duryhodhana throughout this whole thing is like barely paying attention.
Of course.
He's
doodling in his
and
notebook.
all these threats are like remember, Beam said that he would break your thigh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that was one of his big things that he was going to do. And he's just not listening to Maitreya. He's like, and at some point, disrespectfully, Duryodhana just slapped his thigh to end the conversation. No. And Maitreya at this point is like, you little fuck.
Yeah.
You know what? Beam will break your thigh. Doubles down on the vow. so now Beam made a vow,
Shit.
and now you got a sage who like backs it up.
Hope you don't like that leg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope you're not really...
That leg is gone.
Hope you're not attached to your thigh.
He won't be.
Yeah, he won't be much longer.
Oh my god.
So he's a little taken aback, but doesn't
Whoa.
say anything. Maitreya leaves. He's like, "Fuck this!" Like
Can you
I've
imagine
tried
your
to tell
thigh
him.
breaking in half?
Oof, I don't.
Oh!
Yeah, it's making me
The
queasy just thinking
thigh?
about it.
Yeah,
That is such a specific thing to break.
yeah. We'll call you back for that episode 60. 60
Okay.
episodes in.
Okay,
Oh
sounds
my
good.
god.
That
Sounds good.
happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, Maitreya leaves, and Dhritarashtra is like, what was he talking about? Like, he killed a demon? What? Vidura, you were with the Pandavas. What's he talking about? And yeah, Vidura said when they got into the forest, a demon came out of the woods and came out of the darkness. Asked, just a filthy looking demon.
Tell us
Monstrous.
What does he look like?
Yeah, what does
We
it look
get
like?
to decide because I've seen different
So he's
editions.
filthy,
He's got to have fangs, filthy,
Kind of
yeah,
fangs. Okay.
covered in mud. See,
covered in
mud?
like sewagey mud,
Oh no, is it kind of like
and he
dripping?
stinks. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
And
like
his
breath
is it like
stinks.
moving around on him? Like the ooze is moving around
that's
on
a great
his
visual.
on his
Yeah.
skin and on his
Uh-huh.
body, like not in a very like gravity's not doesn't work
Yeah.
on this guy.
In like a bad looking swamp thing.
Yeah, like the
Oh,
physics
yeah.
of it don't make any
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
Is he kind of
Yeah.
hunched over with a big extra shoulder and a big fangs and like claws? Does he have claws?
but I'm saying yes to all of this.
Oh
version.
my
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah.
he's
All of that for our
gross.
version.
Yeah,
Ew,
disgusting.
P.U.
Yeah. So he comes out, talks to you. He's like, "Who are all of you?"
Who are all of you?
Yeah. And the one book I read, like, this is just like, oh, well, I'm Yudhishthira, these are my brothers, the Pandavas. This is the
Hello.
Pandavas, yada, yada.
Oh.
We've been kicked out of the kingdom. Just really felt like an overshare.
Welcome to the
Yeah.
forest.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
when,
shakes
you know,
hands.
Yeah.
the demon whose name is Kilmira,
Kilmira?
Kilmira, is kind of stops listening as soon as he hears about Beam.
Oh.
Because he's like, I've been fucking looking for you.
Oh, what?
Because
Oh,
the
no.
demon that Beam killed with the one hand, when he was eating with the one hand
Yeah.
Yeah.
in our version, that was his brother.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
He was also friends with two other demons, a brother and sister, Hidimba and Hidimbi, and he's like, I know you killed Hidimba and kidnapped Hidimbi. Didn't kidnap Hidimbi.
Hidimbi ran off with them. They
He
got
did
married
become-
in the forest.
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
Then
Hidimbi
they
saw
had a
him and was-
baby, and they grew up really quick, and then it was like a year-long marriage, right? And then
Yeah.
he came back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's...
They had a nice
that's-
little fling.
So
Yeah,
he had
nice
a little
little
bit of a
thing,
twisted
yeah.
story here. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you kidnapped
Well, he didn't
her.
know what happened.
Yeah.
He just knew that she ran
And,
off.
you know,
Yeah.
the fact that they killed the other one, and all
yeah.
evil
But the
demons.
sister wanted him to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he
And
was
she, I
mean.
believe, is like still
That
alive
sounds-
and
yeah.
doing well.
Yeah.
So, but
But
that's-
sure.
So Kimi was like, I've been looking for you, and so they are like ready to fight him.
I bet.
Arjuna starts pulling out his bow,
Uh-oh.
and Beam is just like, no, man, please let me have this.
Hold
I'm
on.
so
Oh.
fucking angry about all the shit that's happened to us. Let him be this temporary Dususana guy. Let me
Please
take all
let
my
me-
rage out on this motherfucker.
Please let me punch.
Need a
Yeah,
release.
this is given to me by God. Man.
I really
Please,
need to
please,
punch.
please.
Let me punch.
Arjuna's like, yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah. So they have like an epic fight of like smashing trees against each other.
Boom, bang.
Oh, wow.
Beam is like the son of the wind, so he's got like muscles as strong as tornadoes.
Oh,
He's
so-
really impressive.
this...
Yeah,
Oh, this is a great fight scene.
it's an epic
Yes.
fight.
That's it.
Yeah.
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 I've got
So
it,
they-
yeah.
yeah.
It's-
Yep.
Like I said, swinging trees at each other, that's smashing against each other. Yeah, epic.
Do they
fucking
jump
fight.
up in the air, grab each other, and twirl around? And as they twirl, a tornado happens around them, and then they twirl back onto the ground, and then they drill into the ground because they're going so fast. And then they both crawl up and punch. One of them punches the other one, and he flies out of the ground. And then as he's flying back down, he smashes on the other one.
Satish, I think Azure wants to work as a fight coordinator in Hollywood. Maybe.
Doesn't that sound good though?
That was a
Yeah,
very
that
good
sounded
description.
great.
I think that's
Oh.
fantastic.
All that-
The drilling
And
into
then
the
they stop
ground.
for just like 2 seconds just to like catch their breath. They're just laying on the ground and just kind of like flopping a hand at each other. All right, here we go. And then they get back into
Yeah.
it.
Second wind.
Second wind.
Literally.
Uh-huh. Boom, bang, smash, pop, pow, zowie.
It turns into a 1960s Batman episode.
Kaplooey.
Yeah.
I'll punch you in the face.
Yeah. It's that's a lot of rage from both combatants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big release.
Yeah,
Big release.
There was the others are just.
I feel better already.
I imagine just like
for Beam.
Yeah.
watching it like while smoking a cigarette. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
yeah. So recount that
Yeah.
to Dhritarashtra. It's like, yeah, that he did all of that, and your son's not going to try and make it up to him. So we'll see what happens in 13 years.
Wait, so did he end up... Oh, yeah, because he ended up killing the demon.
He very much killed the demon.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Very much killed the demon. So...
Then took a bath in the pool because he was covered in filth.
Yeah, of course.
Not the pool, the river.
You
You don't want to do that in the pool.
Yeah,
that's
no, you don't.
That's a group.
Let the water. Yeah,
Yeah, that
that's
makes
selfish.
sense.
He's too
Yeah.
good to
Yeah, he wouldn't
do that.
Yeah.
I bet they built themselves a shower.
Yes. Modern plumbing.
It doesn't have
So
to be modern. It's just a shower. I'll tell you. I'll tell you later.
for me, it's more modern. Okay. so Vidura leaves then. After Dhritarashtra just feeling worse and worse and worse, and of course the four real villains are like, well, now we gotta figure out some other fucking thing to do now.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll go back to our boys in the forest.
Good.
Boys and girl in the forest, and by now, their cousin on their other side, on their mother's side, Krishna, has heard what has happened. Krishna is, in some versions, like all-powerful, but extremely wise. The Pandavas always listened to his counsel. What happened was Krishna had to run to protect his own kingdom right before the game of dice. So he wasn't there to advise Yudhishthira or take any action at all to stop it. Because if he was there, he would have been able to stop any of that from happening. So he now comes back to see them, and he comes with everybody. He comes with people from his clan, the Yadavas. He comes with Draupadi's twin brother. Draupadi and her brother were born in fire.
Oh,
yeah, pretty cool.
What a way to enter the.
Pretty hot.
What a way to enter life.
Enter the world. Yeah.
Absolutely. So
I'm here, like that.
Yeah.
Fully grown. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fully grown.
Fully grown. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he rushes to see them, and the Pandavas are so happy to see him, and they embrace, and like Krishna sits down and talks with Yudhishthira for a while, and like what are the options, and it kind of goes back and forth as far as who suggested what, whether it was like Bhim or Krishna, but basically they're like, well, should we do it? Should we just, you have all of Krishna's armies supporting you, should we go take everything back? And in some versions I saw Krishna said, stick with honor, stick with what you've decided.
Yeah.
Okay.
In other versions it's Yudhishthira is, no, we made this call, we have to honor this.
Okay.
And Krishna, and it's almost like Krishna like knew he would say it, but just goads him into that.
So you're saying some versions it's Krishna saying you have to honor this, and in other versions it's Yudhishthira?
I feel like Yudhishthira is always honoring it. There's Bhim
Okay.
who's trying to convince, and even
Sure,
maybe
sure.
Arjuna. And they're all angry, and
Right,
Yeah.
but they're all still honorable. They're all still gonna do the thing. They're still gonna.
There's discussions here about
okay.
but I think they just needed to talk about it.
Yeah.
This terrible thing happened.
Yeah.
Let it out.
They just need to talk about it. And speaking of, Draupadi starts to bawl.
Oh, Draupadi.
And Draupadi just lets everything out. One thing about Krishna and Draupadi have kind of a bond. They have like a deep friendship.
Okay.
Draupadi, so Krishna means the dark one. He has got very, very dark skin, beyond black. Draupadi, her first name was Krishna. So Krishna with two A's. So basically the female version of the dark one, also ultimate dark skin. So they've always had this kind of bond.
Okay. Yeah.
And Draupadi just kind of goes off on everything. It's like, how could this have happened? And how could it have happened to me?
Yeah.
I have
Fair question.
5.
Yeah.
They're all there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 5 warrior husbands.
Yep.
I have seen them protect so many people, and they didn't do anything. The elders did nothing.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Where were you?
A fair question.
You know?
Yeah.
Like to Krishna?
To Krishna?
Yeah.
Like, where were you?
Everybody failed her.
Yeah, everybody failed her. Mostly the men.
Yeah.
If
Well,
not
yeah.
all of them.
All of the men.
All
Yeah.
the men failed her.
All of the men failed her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just so distraught. And like, how could this have even happened? And Krishna comforts her and like says to her, I was called to my nation. I didn't know any of this was going to happen. There is an interesting thing now what happened, though, that we should mention. When she was getting her clothes torn off, and then they kept reappearing, she did pray to Krishna. And so in some versions of the story, that's why that's why she never goes naked.
Oh, because she was praying.
But so this is a story that is layered over on top of each other, and people have pulled in sources, and then they've retold it. So the most modern versions I've heard bridge this gap, where Krishna says to her, "Well, I was there, remember, for that moment."
Oh, sure.
Because
There's
I answered your
another.
prayer.
So we're looking at the Mahabharata, right? So this is the Kauravas and the Pandavas. Krishna's stories are largely encapsulated in something called the Harivamsa. And apparently in the Harivamsa, where it mentions all of his miracles, this is not mentioned.
What? Why?
So the question becomes, how did that happen if it did? And I like one thing I talked about in the last episode
Interesting.
is that I know Krishna as a concept came into being later and so was folded into the story. I heard one theory as looking into this, and I'm like, this makes the most sense. It's just the best, so I'm going with this one. One theory, and I hope Rhiannon, our last guest, listens to this episode. She did actually call it, and I think I said, no, that's not it.
Oh, shit.
But she guessed that, does she have magic powers? Did she do it herself?
Uh-huh.
And that is a theory. So that is one theory I saw where because of her own virtue, that it was her who stopped that from happening. And what's strange is that even in the text I'm reading, where one chapter is she prayed to Krishna and it happened, and then in this meeting later, Krishna they don't talk about that acknowledgement.
Sure.
So
there's
gaps in the story.
Yeah, some inconsistencies.
But but this makes now the most sense to me.
Sure. Okay.
That she herself as a virgin woman manifested it, and that shocked the hell out of Dhrishtadyumna. I was like, oh fuck. She is as pious and amazing as they say. Otherwise, she would not have the ability to do this.
Yeah.
So we're going with the version that she did manifest that miracle.
That's cool.
On her own.
Yeah. So
But did she know that she was even doing it? She said she thought she was praying to Krishna. Or
I don't know.
We don't know. We don't know what was going on in her head.
We get to choose.
Okay.
I mean, you're in that moment of desperation and power, and so you ask the universe for a wish of some kind, and because of her piousness, the universe granted that, and so still her manifesting it on her own.
Yeah, of course.
That's
cool.
Yeah. I like that idea too. That her virtue.
Yeah.
Is what.
And I mean,
made it happen.
We've seen it.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the big thing is that. The whole agency thing that wasn't there.
Yeah.
This is this gives her agency, and to me it just makes sense too. It's not as if she's the only woman who has shown some sort of power when something happens. We have seen it, and we will see it later. So, yeah. So that's we're sticking with our script.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah. So Krishna, and then at some point Krishna does leave, but he says you will always have my support. And reaffirms 13 years from now, when the war starts, I will be on your side. You will have my support completely. And all of the things that you want, all of the things that you vowed to do will happen.
Whew.
You know, Bhim will kill Duryhodhana, he'll kill Duryodhana. One thing about Draupadi is that she's let her hair just go ragged right now, and she will only tie it up and care for it once it's washed in the blood of Duryodhana.
Oh, so
yeah, so she's gonna let that shit go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's okay.
For 13 years, she's gonna let her hair just be a nest of festering of hate.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a big payoff though.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're gonna need a lot of blood.
Yeah.
To fix that hair.
Yeah. 13 years.
I think Duryodhana's a big guy, so.
You know what though? They can use the pool.
And the river if they need it.
They can fill the pool with his blood, and then she can bathe in it.
Yeah.
Well, they're also given advice that maybe you move a little further away from them into another part of the forest and stuff. So they leave the pool and the hammocks and
the
houses behind. So they're like, yeah, let's make this the pilgrimage. And
so they start moving.
They start moving and traveling, and because
they start backpacking.
They start backpacking exactly.
Yeah.
And because Arjuna has already done a trip, he has some ideas of where to go.
Yeah.
And so they're like, all right, well.
He knows where all the good restaurants are.
Yeah. Yeah. This also, I'm a little surprised. This sounds like the right move, the best decision, and from what you've said, Satish, they don't seem like the best decision makers. So the fact that they're making a decision that makes some logical that's surprising. To me.
Until the game of dice.
It's a real bummer that you have this perspective because they're until this fucking last episode. Yeah. Episode before this one.
They were
good and smart and logical.
So,
I know.
So addiction.
Gambling. It all comes down to gambling addiction.
Yeah. It will literally ruin lives.
And cursed.
Yeah.
Cursed / not cursed dice, but what do you want to call it?
Evil dice?
Yeah, but he made them.
Yeah. The dice themselves had magic powers invested in them.
Oh, okay.
They had the ground bones of evil relatives in it.
Oh my.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
vengeful relatives.
Vengeful relatives.
Yeah, I've heard of loaded dice, but not in that way.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah.
So that's
these are quite the loaded dice.
Heavily loaded.
Yeah.
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 And
it's not good.
That's where we'll end today.
Okay, so on their they're starting a pilgrimage to somewhere else.
Yep. Thank you for listening to this episode of Not Your Mother's Mahabharata. Please like and subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss our next episode. My name is Satish Jaraj, and I am your storyteller and researcher. My wife and co-host is Azure Anderson. Azure also wrote the theme music, she did all the editing and producing, and essentially did all the work to get this podcast to you. Without her, it would just be me swearing ancient stories to friends in our living room. To hear our additional discussions of these events with Ben Kopnick, head over to Patreon for the episode titled Destiny or Diabolical, also linked in our show notes.
If you want to support the podcast and hear additional content, you can do so by becoming a member of the podcast on Patreon at patreon.com/NYMM podcast.
We would like to thank our current patrons for their support. Errol the Hamster, Dinosaur Sauce, Praveen Prem Kumar, and Mitchell Kusek.
Have an imaginative day.